Hi everybody, Wrath of Kings Week is coming next week here on beastsofwar.com, and we have some fantastic prizes to give away. We have 5 in total up for grabs. So first up, we have 4 prizes of a 2-player starter bundle, including the Honor and Treachery 2-player starter set, the Rising Conflicts book, the Book 1 card deck, and a token set. On top of that, one lucky winner is going to be getting an expanded version of this 2-player starter set, which will include an additional Nasir starter box and an additional Corrosive starter box. So guys, get your comments in next week here on beastsofwar.com, Facebook or YouTube for your chance to win. Hi everybody, welcome to What's in the Box. Today myself and John are having a look at some Hordes, and we're looking at the Skorne faction, and it is a monstrous creation.
It really is. This is the Desert Hydra.
Yeah. Let's quickly show them the box. Look at this beastie.
It's huge.
It's huge.
It is.
And it's so Skorne.
So Skorne.
It's so Skorne.
Well, it does say Skorne on the box.
It does say Skorne on the box. It
Yeah.
does exactly what it says on the box.
It is a Desert Hydra. It hydras deserts.
Really, John? Really?
I'm sorry. I'm
Unnecessary.
really sorry.
Anyway, crack open the box and we'll start getting a look at this. So, excellent. It's plastic.
Yep.
So, I'll quickly flash the cards on the camera for everybody just while you get sprues out, okay?
Yep.
So, we'll go to your close camera, and as you can see, this thing has a massive damage wheel. It's going to be taking a lot to do it, to take it down. I would say its weakest point is possibly its mind, just from looking at it. So, not bad. Looking at the actual stat line itself, though, it has some very, very nice things. So, what we have is Speed 5, Strength 14, Mat 6, Rat 5, Defense 9, Armor 19. Not bad. Fury 4, so it can generate up to 4 Fury in a turn. And it's got a threshold of 8, so kind of an 8 total on it before it frenzies and starts munching your own stuff.
Right.
It has an acid spray. So, 6-inch spray template.
Yep.
Rate of fire 1, power 12. Acid continuous effect, acid type damage. Okay? Not bad, and it's got a bite. And it's got a range 2, power 4 bite for a power and strength of 18. So it can maybe take a lump out of something.
It sounds pretty versatile, actually.
Yeah, not bad. I mean, like the spray, I wouldn't really worry about that Rat 4 because I think sprays auto hit, if I remember right.
Probably.
It's been a while since I've used them. Drop in the comments below if I'm right or wrong there. It's got its Animus, right? So its Animus is Sandstorm. Cost 2, range self, AoE star, no power, duration for the round, and it's non-offensive. Now, the key to that non-offensive is, in War Machine and Hordes, if a spell's offensive, you have to roll for it. If it's not offensive, it just ticks off.
Yep.
Right? And what this does is, enemy models cannot make ranged attacks well within the spellcaster's command range. So, Sandstorm lasts for 1 round. So it basically goes, okay, my command range is 6 if I remember right. Yep, command 6. So if you pass me the big base, so from this base, 6 inches either side, you can't shoot.
Yeah.
You know, so that's pretty nice, being able to just go, by the way,
Denied. Thump.
Yeah, and with it being Animus, the Warcaster can cast that as well. So depending on who you have, you could maybe have a couple of bubbles of this run at a time.
Yeah.
Because with cost 2, not bad. Desert Hydra has some very, very nice abilities, but we'll get onto those later. In the meantime, we have the sprues to look at. It's Gribbly.
Good luck.
It's Gribbly. So let me see. All right, we'll start with this one because it's got some recognizable components.
Does it?
So on here, we have heads. Heads.
Tops of head.
Tops of heads. We have spiny growths, which go down and around the model. We have little jaw parts here, so little bitey bits.
Yep.
More of the ridges, more of the bitey bits, more of the ridges, more of the ridges. I believe we have some of the hinged jaws here.
Yep, that's the bottom of the head, sort of.
Yep, and more of these ridge bits, and more of the tops of the heads here. We then come on to some of the main body here, so really nice armored segment detail on this.
It is gorgeous looking, yeah.
Yeah, and then we have one of the bigger heads, so the lower mandibles for it.
Yep.
And more of those little ridge bits that I assume go into fill places. We then have another little set of spines up here. We then, on the next sprue, this comes in 5 sprues, guys, so it's quite hefty. More of the main body. This looks like belly plates here. Sides where it's actually turning up and around. I believe that's another lower jaw.
Yeah.
Or perhaps an upper jaw.
No, lower jaw.
Lower jaw?
Yeah,
okay.
I think all those bits are lower jaw.
Okay. We then have this, which is the main body.
Well, doesn't...
Because it's the biggest bits of the body.
You think?
I assume this is where it's starting to rear up off of the sand, just
Yeah.
with the way the casting looks here. It looks as if this will go onto the bottom.
Mhm.
We have tops of heads here. More of these little filler bits for where it's turning in and around. Another top of the head here in 2 halves. More spines here and more spines here.
Mhm.
We then come to the actual base of this thing. This is what's going to sit on your base. So this is how it looks whenever it's actually just planted itself on the flat sand.
Yep.
I assume this actually goes in beneath here to
Yeah.
actually fill that, which is, it's nice to see that they've done that,
Mhm.
you know, because normally if this is going on the base, we don't need detail there.
Yeah, it wasn't necessary, but it's there anyway.
Yeah. We then have more of the actual, you know, serpentine necks and stuff,
Yep.
and the very tips of the tail, which is really nice. More tops of the heads, more of the little filler bits. So this looks like a reasonably involved build. I will give it that. It looks as if it's going to take a fair bit of hobbying to get it all put together properly. You know, I will say this, guys, dry fitting is always your friend on a bigger kit.
Yeah.
To actually make sure everything's fitting where it should.
Mhm.
With it being a privateer plastic kit, we of course have the instruction manual. So, here we go. Instruction manual. So, complete it model, big and beefy. And then all of the different stages you're going to go through to actually put it together. So if I open this up, everything you need to put together.
Yeah, it is pretty involved.
Yeah, well, when you consider there are at least 54 steps to this, that just says involved to me. Although
Yeah.
it's still not a patch on some of the scale model kits you see out there.
No, it's not.
You know, some of those it's just like, by the way, you will spend a week just building the suspension on this tank.
Yeah, by the way, see that track it you love? Yeah, each individual piece is in 6 parts, and you're like, no, Dragon, why?
And by the way, you have to do this twice, of course.
Yeah.
All right, well, tell you what, John, it looks like a really nice kit. I love the fact that it's in plastic.
Yep.
It does look quite involved, all
Yep.
right? So I'm going to send you away to build it.
Okay.
All right, guys, we'll be back in a quick second here. Everybody, we're back. John, you built it. How'd it go?
Yeah, I
Was it
think it was very involved. I think the build time was roughly 4 hours,
4 hours?
something like that. Because I wasn't familiar with the kit and because it was very organic,
Yes.
I wasn't able to look at something and go, that is definitely for that bit.
Yeah.
There was none of that in there, so it was an involved build.
Mm.
Show it off.
Yeah, the model itself is really, really nice whenever it's put together. It looks mean. It looks aggressive.
It looks amazingly complex.
Yeah. I mean, like, for painting this, John, would you actually leave some of the heads off to begin with?
I wouldn't stick any of them on at all.
Mm.
I would paint all of them separately,
Mm-hmm.
definitely.
And then glue them on.
Yeah.
It looks just like a really, really nasty beastie whenever it's sitting there just looking at you going, I will eat you.
Yeah.
I will eat all of you.
So, before you get into special rules and stuff,
Yes.
I have a couple of mild criticisms for the kit.
Okay.
Do you know how we've looked at some of the plastic warjack kits and we've went, oh great, this sprue represents this thing, this sprue represents this thing, it's very clear and defined.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, yes. I've seen some of the kits where it's just like, okay, this sprue you no longer need because you're not building that variant.
Yeah, you have a chassis sprue and then you have variant sprues.
Yeah.
Now, on this, because this requires every single part in the kit, I felt that the sprues weren't just laid out in a way that was intuitive.
Okay.
I kind of would have liked to have seen ones that, say for example, a sprue that carried all the upper heads and jowls, maybe one that had most of the neck parts, that sort of thing. Because you were
you jumping between sprues a lot?
Yeah, and I think the quickest way that Privateer could rectify that is to do what the scale model kits do and actually letter the sprues.
Okay. So that sprues, so A through E.
Yeah, so A through E, and you're looking at a part and it goes A14. Great. Because some of the, say, in a couple of cases, the lower jaws have a couple of extra bits that glue onto them. They'll not be on the same sprue.
Ah, I see.
So you're sitting there going, no.
Yeah,
and
so it slows that build time down.
Yeah, the numbering is a little bit all over the place too, because they've clearly tried to number the parts and then someone's had to build the sprue.
Yeah.
You know, so they've had to figure out the sprue layout after they've numbered the parts, rather than what you should have done was maybe do it in reverse order.
Possibly.
Lettering the sprues would be the way to fix that.
Yeah, because then I just say, okay, I'm looking for sprue B. Okay, I'm on this sprue. Where's it? Ah, there we go.
Yeah, that would speed the build time up a little bit. Other than that, the gates are in good locations. I only broke one spine.
Really?
Yeah, only one.
And it's plastic, so you were just fit to glue it back on, I'm guessing.
No, I lost it.
God.
It fell into the carpet of infinity and it's gone.
Yeah.
It's absolutely gone.
Yeah, I wonder how many models you could build from the components that have been lost in that carpet, John.
That would be a hell of a kit bash.
Uh,
Across 30 different types of model, 30 different species, and 100 different game modes. And it's just like, wow.
Coming to you soon, the Franken model.
Yeah. But other than that, excellent kit. You
Let me give it another twirl here.
If you're not overly experienced with it,
yeah,
be very careful and do listen to the instructions, because when you're placing the actual necks and the heads on for final assembly,
yeah,
they do nail that part in the instructions. They do tell you which head to put on first and in what order they need to go on and what order you need to glue them, because some of them need to be pushed in and twirled around to get into their locations.
Okay. Well, that's the thing with the organic kits.
They will always be...
You'll never have a flat plate to glue to.
No, they will always be a little bit awkward. And I feel, even though I would call myself experienced, I would still want to revisit this at some point and get a bit of green stuff or filler and start tidying up some of my glue points.
Well, I mean, like we have talked about possibly doing a parts to paint it with this.
Yeah.
So we'll maybe revisit it in the future, later in the year.
Yeah.
So
I'll get a play with it again.
Yeah. So special rules. All right. This is the interesting bit for me always with these, because it's the special rules that make models, well, special. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. Anyway, the model has circular vision, so it'll never receive a backstrike. So it doesn't matter what angle you attack this thing from, there's a head facing you, it knows where you are.
Yeah.
All right. You then have multiple heads, 5. So this model can make 5 initial attacks for each combat action, right? Each combat action is important because that means ranged or melee.
Yeah.
So you could fire out 5 acid sprays from this thing, or do 5 of the bite attacks.
Yeah.
For 1 combat action. So even though it only has 1 weapon profile on it for each of these, it's essentially got 5 of those.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of damage it can chuck out. 5 power strength, 18 attacks, not bad. You'll take lumps out of something, and then having an additional 4 on top of that, there's 9 attacks for a round of melee.
Yeah.
Could be bad.
You're looking like you're enjoying this a little bit.
A little bit.
You're like I need to start Skorne.
No. There's an aesthetic to Skorne that I just don't like. And a little bit of the backstory where it's just everything's driven off pain. So you'll have a beast handler behind this thing, whipping it into a frenzy, and then whipping it to heal it.
Yeah. Okay.
That just, I don't know. There's just something in the fluff for them that doesn't do it for me. There are other factions that would do it more, like Trollbloods.
Yeah.
I just love the look of them. Right. It has regeneration D3 plus 3. So basically, you'll roll for your regeneration D3 plus 3, get wounds back.
Yeah.
Which is lovely, especially whenever you start to cripple aspects on this thing. It's then got snacking. When this model boxes a living enemy model with a melee attack, it can choose to remove the box model from play. When it does this, the model immediately can remove D3 damage. Oh look, little treasure.
I feel better now for that.
Yes. Comfort food. Actually, no, they're not comfort food, because that is actually a special rule in the game for some of the stuff. It's called comfort food, some of the stuff. It then has, on its acid spray, it's got a star attack, concentrated blast. This weapon becomes range spray 10, power 16. Lovely! And on bite, it's got critical grievous wounds. With having a possibility of 9, you're in with a decent shout of getting critical grievous wounds off. On a critical hit, a model hit by this weapon loses tough and cannot have damage removed from it for 1 round. So if you actually start biting something with regeneration, oh look, for 1 round, it doesn't work. I've got a bit of time here to actually, go for you again and actually finish you off instead of you regenerating the whole time. Which can be really annoying with some models whenever it just will not die. It keeps regenerating the max. Why does it keep regenerating the max? I can't do enough damage to stop it healing back to max.
So what is this then? Is this like the line breaker?
This is what every Gargantuan and Colossal in the game is. It is a big, nasty death machine or beastie.
So how would you use it though?
That up the middle, come and have a go.
So just charge it straight into whatever you can find.
Not whatever I can find. Look for the targets that you want to break. Yes, you can use it as a line breaker, but it's not incredibly fast with speed 5. That's the one thing you'll find in War Machine John, even to today, because you'll remember from Mark II, if you were on a 5, you were average.
Yeah.
If you were on a 4 for any stat, you're a bit poo.
Yeah.
6, okay, you're on the level, you're a decent fighter.
Yeah.
7 or above, oh, you're godlike. Let's go.
Yeah. Stay out of that thing's way, sort of.
Yeah, it's that whole curve that War Machine has, on that 2d6 system, being able to throw in an extra dice here and there.
Yeah.
the curve is very, very predictable. So once you figure out where it is and what you're doing with it, you can look at stuff very quickly and realize, okay, I don't really need to worry about. You can handle yourself. I am sending you straight up the field.
Yeah.
This thing, it's big, it's beefy, but I wouldn't let it get surrounded too quickly
Yeah.
because it will die.
It's
It
slow.
will die.
So it needs a bit of support with it. It's something to grab your opponent's attention.
Yeah. It's one of those things. It's what these are meant to be, is just big, beefy things, and it's not even saying that, because there's so many synergies working together.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's maybe something in Skorne that would make this thing absolutely godlike on the tabletop and nigh unkillable. Just from giving extra abilities. Having beast handlers with this, constantly just keeping it riled, keeping it from threshold, going past its threshold.
Yeah.
Because if this thing turns around, passes its threshold, and actually frenzies on you, it's just going to turn around and start taking chunks out of your own army.
Yeah.
So that's always the risk with Hordes, is having that chance to lose control of stuff. So you have to be very careful with your management. I would play this in bigger games because it's 38 points. That's a fair lump of your force right there.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, tell you what, drop me your comments in below. What would you run alongside this to actually make it amazing? Is what I would like to know. So I know we have Skorne players out there. Get your comments in below. Myself and John will move on here, and we will see you in the next video.
From Viking halls to the cities of the future, terrain buffs will love our foreground hub. Watch gaming tables of all genres come to life at beastsofwar.com. Flames of War brings you the battles of World War II in epic 15mm scale. Go to the hub on beastsofwar.com to find news, tactics, and tutorials about the game.